It's the International Soccer Preview. We are Soccerphiles Canada. Welcome to Series 31, looking at the players of the 2025 African Cup. This episode is looking at the players of Uganda. Part 1, the candidates. Here we go! Hello and welcome to the International Soccer Preview by Soccerphiles Canada. I'm Kevin and this is Series 31 on the players of the 2025 African Cup. This episode covers Uganda's players. We're moving on to Section 3 here. We want to welcome new listeners to Section 3, which we're releasing as a short version of Part 1 on Uganda's players here. So I'll just speak to those people that in the first version or in the full version, we introduced the candidates on their likelihood of making the final squad. We also gave some career information on the main players. So if you want to get to know the players better, you can look at the full version. Otherwise, we're just summarizing here, and we're not concerning ourselves with starters. With predicting starters at this point. We're going to do that in section or in part 2, which will come out in December. So for part 1 here, we're just going to review the candidates and their likelihood of making it. So let's begin with the manager, Paul Putt. He's been their manager since the end of 2023 there, so he's guided them through the last couple of years. And then we have goalkeepers. No candidates at the definite level, and definitely an odd situation with players coming in from the cold, playing for a few games, and then off the squad again. So the most recent of those are our likely candidates. That's Salim Jamal Magula, Dennis Onyango, and Nafian Alionzi, all of those likely candidates. Then we have 2 at the possible level, Joel Mutakubwa and Ismail Watenga. Among defenders, for central defenders, we have a definite candidate in Jordan Obita, actually coded as a left back, but playing in central defense. A likely candidate in Elio Capradosi, and then 4 possible candidates, Bevis Mugabe, Timothy Awani, Hilary Mukundami, and Rogers Torak. We're not going through the possible but unlikely or the seemingly off the squad players here, just the more likely ones. In the left back position, we have a definite candidate in Aziz Kayondo and a likely candidate in Isaac Mulene and a possible candidate in Herbert Achayi. For right backs, we have no definite candidates, and actually we don't have a lot of right backs, so we see central defenders coming in to this position, and even defensive midfielders. We have Toby Sibic as a likely candidate, and then 2 possible candidates, Elvis Bomono and Kevin Kizito. But I should also say that defensive midfielder Kenneth Semakula played quite a few games there. We're going to meet him right here as we move up to the midfield, because he's one of our definite defensive midfielders. So Kenneth Samakalu. Let me try that one more time. Kenneth Semakula. And we also have a definite candidate in Khalid Aucho, but no likely or possible candidates here. However, for central midfielders, we have likely candidate Ronald Sekiganda and possible candidate Bobosi Bwaruhanga. Moving on upfield, we have no left and right midfielder candidates, so we go to left attacking midfielders. We have a definite candidate in Rogers Mato there. No candidates at the likely level, but we have 2 possible candidates, Enoch Sebagala and Patrick Kakande. Over on the right side, it's also out of position players here, mostly forwards. 2 definite candidates, Dennis Omeda and June Semugabi. but none at the possible. None at the likely or possible levels. Central attacking midfielders, we have a definite candidate in Alan Okello and also Travis Muchaba. Both of those, sorry, let me say that again, Travis Muchaba. Both of those definite candidates. Also two possible candidates, Kareem Watambala and Alan Oyerwath. And finally, we have forwards, just one definite candidate in Stephen Mukwala, a likely candidate in Uche Ikpeazu, and then two possible candidates in Muhammad Shaban and Regan Mpande. Okay, that's our race through the players, review of candidates. Let's look at some big names who are off the squad or close to being off the squad. At least, let me just find myself here. We have left back Joseph Okaya or Ochaya, and he, well, we won't give details because we did in the main section or in the full-length podcast. He last appeared in September 2024. So these players are not necessarily gone, but just seem to be off the squad. The next one is actually a possible but unlikely player, Nicholas Wadada, 63 caps for the national team, but not selected for the last 5 matches there, so he might come back. Next, we have Emmanuel Okwi, last appeared in June of 2023. He has 95 caps and 28 goals for the national team. And finally, Faruku Maya, actually not that old, 28 years old, but last appeared in 2023. He has 79 caps and 23 goals. So he in particular, I wouldn't be surprised to see return. Let's take a look at injuries on the squad. Well, as far as we know, there are no injuries for Uganda right now. So that's good news if that's true for them. As I say, as far as we know, we have no reported injuries. Closing thoughts on Uganda? Well, particularly with the goalkeepers, it's a bit surprising how they come in and out. So I think a lot of the candidates that we have at the possible but unlikely level or seemingly off the squad level may come back in if the goalkeeper situation is anything to go by. So I feel a bit tentative about our predictions in this media cast, and we may see some different names when we get to part 2. Speaking of part 2, let's preview what we're going to do when that comes out after the preliminary and final squads are released. We'll tell you which of the candidates made it and which ones didn't. We'll highlight any notable non-selections or any surprise inclusions. We'll tell you about any new players, especially those making the final squad. And we'll look at the injury situation again to see if anything has changed. And finally, my favorite part, we will do our spotlight review. That's when we predict the players we're going to think we think will be starters. That might be a bit difficult for Uganda, but there we have it. And we thank you then for joining us for part 1 here, and we hope to see you again in part 2. We would like to thank Pixabay and Cold Fingers for the wonderful music used in this media cast. The title of the piece is Eid Mubarak.